price, Sancho available, Lingard is back, Lyon want Benzema return, Barcelona with an extraordinary cup tie and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers and this is the Daily News. So first off, it's the transfer saga that we just seemingly can't go a transfer window without talking about, and it's Jadon Sancho moving to Manchester United. In fact, I did a video on this last week detailing what I think he should consider before he either moves to Old Trafford or decides to stick it out at Dortmund. You can find that right here. But basically, the big story is that, well, German football has had a bit of a hit due to the COVID pandemic, meaning that some clubs are at a bit of a loss. So much so that Borussia Dortmund are apparently willing to accept less than they would have originally done for a Jadon Sancho transfer. During last summer, they were holding out for I think around 120 million euros, like an insane amount of money, and now they've cut that price to as low as 95 to 100. Of course, this is still a ridiculous amount of money, but having said that, Manchester United were apparently only willing to go up to around £90 million, which kind of covers the little bit of exchanging in between. Currency exchanging, that is. So Sancho could be available for a little bit less because apparently Dortmund could have had losses up to around 75 million because, well, they haven't really had any fans in for the best part of a year. It's obviously not been an ideal situation for any club, and the fact that they're willing to accept a little bit less for Sancho is good for Manchester United. United are seemingly one of these clubs that, despite the pandemic, they're always going to have a lot of money to spend, and so this could be the time that just fits. Alongside this, Sancho's been good recently in the last few weeks, but his season overall has been a little bit of a struggle. Before Lucien Favre was sacked, he actually said that maybe, just maybe, all of the speculations actually got to Sancho and it really affected his start to the season, which was a bit slow and sluggish. So, not reading too much into that, but if Manchester United were to go for negotiations and say, hey, Sancho maybe isn't in the best of form, they could point to that as one reason to maybe lower the price just a little bit. That wouldn't be as big as effect as if he was unbelievable, because then the price would just keep going up and up and up. But yeah, if you combine his season, which has been a bit hit and miss, and you combine it with the coronavirus impact, I reckon 100 million euros would do it. I talk about 100 million like it's absolutely nothing, but if there's any club that's going to pay it, it will be Manchester United. Anyway, talking Manchester United, if they don't get Sancho, why not bring back Jesse Lingard after just one game on loan? I actually mentioned the other day that maybe this could be the loan deal that sees Lingard sneak his way back into Euro 2021 contention for the England squad. David Moyes seemed to echo that in his press match conference last night after Lingard bagged 2 goals in West Ham's victory over Aston Villa. This is an Aston Villa side that absolutely everybody keeps banging on about and rating, and I think they're having a fantastic season. But let's focus a little bit more on West Ham. Thomas Souček scored again because that's just what he does. Still my signing of the season, and slowly getting into the reckoning of player of the season. I think he's been unbelievable. So Lingard scores 2 on top of that, and it just shows that not only are West Ham having a brilliant season, David Moyes is getting it right, which I thought I'd never say in the last sort of 8 years. West Ham are now definitely challenging for the top 4. And on top of all of this, it shows the wonders of what a bit of confidence for a player can do. Lingard hasn't played a minute of Premier League football this season up until last night. He hasn't started the Premier League game in around 13 months. And everyone's sort of making a few jokes about him here and there. You get him on the pitch, you give him a bit of confidence, you let him know that he's still a great player, and he goes and produces. Honestly, this really does say a lot, and I'm absolutely delighted for Lingard. Elsewhere in the Premier League, though, Liverpool look even further off the pace after yet another home defeat, this time to Brighton. Where was this Liverpool when they played Spurs? Anyway, aside from that, Liverpool lost 1-0 to Graham Potter, which means that his side have now beaten Spurs and Liverpool 1-0 in the last few days, and things are looking up for the Brighton manager. There were a few other games last night in which Everton managed a pretty good win at Leeds to strengthen their fight for a top 6 finish. Not such a good evening for Leeds. Fulham looked down and out again as they lost 2-0 to Leicester, and in the case of Manchester City, they strengthened their lead at the top. They're now 3 points clear with the game in hand, and they play Liverpool this weekend. If they win that, they go 10 points clear of the reigning champions, and you might say that Liverpool's title defence is now over. Anyway, moving on to Karim Benzema and a potential turn to Lyon. He left the club in 2009 and has been at Real Madrid ever since, a fantastic servant, but his agent has said that he will be interested in moving back to Lyon to finish his career because he's yet to play in their new stadium. I'm not sure if the agent is aware, but Real Madrid kind of also have a cool new stadium being built as well, so maybe Benzema wants to hang around for that. The French striker has said that one day he will end his career at Lyon, but he's not really thinking about it just yet. That was said last year. Now we're 1 year later. Now we're getting close to the new stadium at Real Madrid being built, but we're also one closer to the end of Karim Benzema's contract. His current one expires in 2022, and with all the talk at the moment of Real Madrid, it's either Haaland or Mbappe moving to the future. We're not sure whether Zidane's going to be there. They're in a bit of a transition period. I'm not so sure why they'll be giving a brand new contract to Karim Benzema. Like, they're already struggling to give anything more than a year contract to Sergio Ramos, captain, leader. I'm not going to say legend because you'll think of John Terry, even though he is a big legend, but you know what I mean. Sergio Ramos is failing to get more than the 1 year deal, so there's no way they're going to be offering, how old's Benzema, 32, 33, him a big year deal either. My guess is that he'll see the end of his contract out in 2022 and then move back to Lyon. The Lyon president has always said that if Benzema is available, a deal will be done because they'd absolutely love to bring him home. Next up then, and to Barcelona, and I don't know if you guys watched this last night. I watched it, I was enthralled for all 120 minutes. They beat Granada 5-3 in the Copa del Rey, but that, my friends, does not tell the story. Granada go 2-0 up as Roberto Soldado races through and makes Samuel Umtiti look like he's running with lead in his boots. After that, well, Barcelona were very unlucky. Throughout the whole game, the amount of times they hit the post, hit the bar, near misses, they found the Granada keeper in sensational form, and in the end, it was left to Lionel Messi to unlock the door as always. Two identical crosses from him to Antoine Griezmann. One of them, the French striker managed to squeeze in, and the other one he pulled back for Jordi Alba to equalise. And then, just as Griezmann scores an extra time, you think, Barca are going to go along to win it. A contentious penalty. I mean, honestly, it looked like he kind of dived and he was looking for the contact, not the contract, the contact. And then all of a sudden, Granada 3-3. But then, as always, Barcelona came up trumps. They managed to grab 2 extra goals, and it means that Ronald Koeman's blushes were spared, and his side are into the semi-finals. This is surely a competition they've got to win, purely because the level of opposition they've got in the semi-finals just really aren't that strong. That's no offence to whoever's been in there. Likes of, I think it's Sevilla, Levante, and one of Athletic Bilbao or Betis who are playing tonight. But you can't help but think this could be Barcelona's first trophy in quite some time. Certainly, if Koeman wants to keep his job and he wants to keep a few players there, it's probably best to start winning trophies rather soon. Finally, then we come to a quick round up of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Ajax have committed the ultimate football manager sin. They have mistakenly left Sebastian Aller, their brand new signing from West Ham, out of their Europa League squad. Apparently, they're talking to UEFA, but I'm not sure there's much they can do about it. Basically, they don't have their star striker in their squad for the rest of the European campaign. Elsewhere in Tottenham, Chelsea and Arsenal are interested in Frankfurt defender Evan Ndicka, who is currently playing on the left side centre-back of a back three, although his future appears to be at centre-back. Elsewhere, and according to Bayern Munich sources, Jerome Boateng, despite his good form, will not be offered a new contract. And in the case of Bournemouth, who have just fired their manager, Jason Tindall, both John Terry, mentioned him earlier, and Patrick Vieira are both contenders to take over at the South Coast club. So there you have it. That's all from me for today. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and check out everything else we've got going on OneFootball. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.